Hi, and welcome to the Julie Says So Movie Minute, where I usually give abbreviated reviews of all the biggest new films opening. I'd like to try something different this week because there are some huge releases on the horizon, and I wanted to make sure you didn't miss any of them. We always associate blockbuster season with summer, but the big movies are opening earlier each year. Like next week, in fact, when 50 Shades Freed hits theaters.
So you want to play?
Yes, sir.
It's the final installment of the 50 Shades franchise, where Anastasia and Christian finally get married. That should kill any sexual heat that was ever generated in these movies, which isn't saying much. It doesn't really matter to the filmmakers, though, because the first 50 Shades of Grey movie made so much money, it actually paid for the two that came after it. So any money made from 50 Shades Freed is just icing on the smut cake. And you know you're going to see it anyway, just to find out what your mom's version of S&M looks like. If that's not your thing, Friday the 9th also brings us the 1517 to Paris, about a real-life terrorist attack on a train in France. The plot was thwarted by 3 Americans who were traveling through Europe at the time, and even cooler, director Clint Eastwood has these men playing themselves. The following Friday, February 16th, is when Black Panther hits theaters, and if early reviews are right, it just might be the best film from Marvel Studios yet. We already know that it's the big screen solo debut for Marvel's very first African-American superhero, and that Black Panther had the largest first-day ticket pre-sales on Fandango of any other Marvel movie. Now we're hearing that people who've seen it are having to make up words to describe how groundbreaking, wonderful, and important it is. Oh, and Black Panther's soundtrack is produced by Kendrick Lamar and will probably be the only thing you listen to for the next 3 months. Just save yourself some drama and buy your Black Panther tickets now. February 23rd brings us Natalie Portman in Annihilation, about a woman who joins a dangerous expedition to help save her husband. That one's based on book 1 of the popular Southern Reach series. But the other movie opening that weekend, Game Night, took social media by storm the day its trailer was released. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams play a married couple who have a murder mystery game night with some friends. At least they think it's a game until one of their pals gets kidnapped right in front of them. The weekend right after that, March 2nd, is when Jennifer Lawrence's new movie, Red Sparrow, is released.
There could be no witnesses. So they gave me a choice. Die or become a sparrow.
We get to watch J-Law kick ass again and make out with Joel Edgerton, which almost makes up for that horrible Moose and Squirrel accent. Out that same weekend is Eli Roth's remake of Death Wish, starring Bruce Willis and Elizabeth Shue. We've been seeing the trailers for this one since last summer because it was supposed to come out in October. Then there was a string of horrible shootings, and the idea of Bruce Willis running around with a gun didn't sound that great. Death Wish will now open on March 2nd. Out March 9th is a highly anticipated one from Disney, A Wrinkle in Time, with Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, and of course, Oprah Winfrey. It's from Oscar-nominated director Ava DuVernay, and the screenplay is written by Jennifer Lee, who gave us Wicked Fields with Zootopia, Wreck-It Ralph, and Frozen. Expectations are pretty high with this one, even though the trailer's been met with lukewarm reviews. March 16th gives us Alicia Vikander in the Tomb Raider reboot, which I guess someone out there wanted, as well as the coming-out drama Love, Simon. March 23rd is Pacific Rim Uprising, which I'm far more excited about than any grown woman should be. Also opening that weekend is Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs. I guess he's still supposed to be indie, but listen to this cast. He's got Frances McDormand, Greta Gerwig, Scarlett Johansson, and of course, Bill Murray. And those are just the bold type names. And then March is going to wrap up with a biggie on the 29th, when Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One opens.
Are you willing to fight? Help us save the Oasis.
It stars Ty Sheridan as a loner who must save a virtual world called the Oasis. Spielberg was actually working on Ready Player One while filming The Post last year. Now, if that sounds weird to you, remember that he filmed Jurassic Park while he was working on Schindler's List, so this is not new for him. Spielberg's perfect for Ready Player One, since the Ernest Cline book it's based on is a haven of 80s pop culture, like Pat Benatar, Dungeons & Dragons, even some movies that Spielberg directed in the 80s. There were mixed reactions to the trailer when it debuted at last summer's Comic-Con, though, so how Ready Player One will be received next month is entirely up in the air. That's why you should probably look for free passes to see it at JulieSaysSo.com. Remember, you never have to pay money for a bad movie again. Just find comprehensive movie reviews and free movie passes on my website, or follow me on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find all of those links and more on my website at JulieSaysSo.com. This week's hottest new trailer is for a film that had critics cringing in their seats at Sundance recently. It's called Hereditary and stars Toni Collette, whose family starts to unravel after the death of their reclusive matriarch. It's being called a game changer, a modern-day horror masterpiece, and even The Exorcist for a new generation. We won't see Hereditary in theaters until June 8th, but this little bit should be fodder for nightmares until then. I'm Julie Fisk, and that's your Movie Minute.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious. My mother was a very secretive and private woman. It's Grandma. You know you were her favorite, right? Even when you were a little baby, she wouldn't let me feed you because she needed to feed you. She was a very difficult woman, which maybe explains me.
I recognize you from your mother.
What? Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room.
Oh my God! What's that?
She isn't gone.
She had private rituals, private friends.
Who's gonna take care of me?
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die,
And she wasn't altogether there. At the end.
I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening? Peter! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Mom, what's happening? Make it stop! Make it stop!
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.